Hey everybody, welcome back to some more early morning barking, talking about BPD and MPD by somebody that has both. Don't forget to slap that like and subscribe button and do all the socially things scrolling past you on the screen right now. Today I'm going to talk about another blanket. There are 3 blankets. The blanket triangle of BPD. So far it's a triangle because I've discovered 3 blankets. What am I talking about? Utter rubbish, you might say. Possibly, but stay with me. I've talked before about the blanket of sadness, where we get this feeling of sadness and we wrap ourselves up in it, and it keeps us warm because it's familiar and nice, even though it's sadness wrapped up. And we have to choose to shake this blanket off ourselves and not feel this. And this blanket can fall on us and wrap us up anytime, whatever. And then I talked about the blanket of meh. The blanket of do you know, that one. That nothing. Flat. Whatever. Meh. So there's that one. And now I have a third one to talk about. As you probably guessed from the title of the video, the blanket of anger. A scary blanket. A blanket that brings, well, anger. And that's never good for anybody. Certainly not when it's in blanket form. And this came up for me a couple of nights ago when I'd attempted to spend an evening without a particular vice of mine that generally helps me sleep. And so I was having trouble sleeping. And as one does in 2022 when you can't sleep, you look at your phone and you go on YouTube and you go on social media or whatever, and you will find stuff that gets you angry. Whatever it is, whatever, pick your poison. And if you're not careful, this anger can come in blanket form. Especially when you're not doing great. I mean, this was the thing, right? I was up, I was tired, it was 5 or 6 in the morning, and I was really frustrated with what I was going through at the time. And I started to get wound up. Now, fortunately, this is actually one of the best times for it to happen because the house was sleeping and I was awake. You can't do anything there, right? There's no shouting at anybody. There's no getting mad and stomping around. You're going to be quiet. And so from a anger, frustration point of view, that's kind of a good time to do it. Unless you're much higher on psychopathy than I am and don't care about waking people up. So for me, this particular instance was kept very small, which is good. But this blanket of anger wraps you up, and everything is horrible. Everything is bad. Don't touch me. I'm too hot. Why is this blanket here? What's going on Twitter? Why the hell is that happening? He did what? And all these things. Wrapped up anger. And it's not a real emotion in the sense that as someone with BPD, you are feeling a much more intense version of it. Yeah, you can find things on the internet to anger you. You can get too hot in bed. You can get bumped into by somebody. All these things. Getting angry is something we all deal with. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the blanket of anger that you're wrapped up in. It's not just anger at one thing. It becomes anger at anything and everything. It becomes all-consuming. It becomes just horrible. Just absolutely horrible. Just where you want to lash out. And if you're in a situation, in an environment where there are people and things to lash out at, this is a great situation for you to actually cause some upset and some damage. And so it's important to get a handle on this, right? it's important to be able to dial it back and identify when this is happening to you. And generally, I find if it's happening to me, right, if I'm getting angry when I really should be doing something else, if I'm getting angry at something totally unrelated to what I'm supposed to be doing, I might be starting to wrap myself up in a blanket, right? At the time, in my case, I was supposed to be asleep. That's what I was trying to be doing. And instead, I was getting angry at something on Facebook. Two completely opposite things. And so that's a clear sign straight away that I'm getting wrapped up in a blanket of anger. And then on top of that, I was getting angry at more than one thing at once. Right? It becomes everything because it is that all-consuming, wrapped up, I am anger. It's sort of, for me, it's beyond rage. It's a calm rage. It's a quiet, zen rage. Anger. Just. And so if you're angry at more than one thing at once, again, technically possible to do, but look, we're talking about this exaggerated version of it. Generally, we get angry at one thing at a time, right? We have a problem. We get angry at that problem. That problem is dealt with one way or another. Then we can move on to something else. To just be raging one thing, I'm angry at this, and now I'm angry at this too, and what the hell is that going on over there? And all these other things. So many things going off at once. Blanket, right there. That's not normal. That's not calm and healthy. That much anger. If you're angry at something that is just totally unrelated to what you're supposed to be doing, or angry at so many more things than just one thing at once, this is what's going on. This exaggerated anger at whatever, at nothing. Wait, no, it's not. For me, it was because I couldn't sleep, right? That's what I was angry about. I was angry about not having had the thing that helps me sleep. And then I was angry about needing a thing that helps me sleep. And then back round to angry about not sleeping again. That's what was frustrating me. Not whatever was on Facebook. Not whatever was in the news or anything else. I just wanted to sleep. And the fact that I couldn't, that's what I was angry about. But I let it stir me up. I let myself get wrapped up in this anger. And that kept me awake longer than I needed to be as well, because you can't calm down. And so I think what I still need, and I guess it's our old friend mindfulness, but some sort of calming meditation sort of thing. Recognizing it is the important bit, though, I think. And that's what I'm just sort of beginning to realize is a thing for me, and it will be for other people as well. This blanket of anger. I'm angry at so many things at once, and they're none of them what I want to be doing. Blanket, right there. A familiar thing, something to do instead of getting angry at what you feel you can't do anything about. So we pick other things we can't do anything about and rant about them. And ultimately, it gets us attention. It gets us, not attention, hopefully sympathy, I don't know. Comradeship in rage. What do we get when we rant about stuff? It seems ridiculous when you're not doing it, doesn't it? Anyway, that's the blanket of anger. We'll add that to the blanket trifecta of sadness, meh, and anger. Oh, this is a t-shirt, isn't it? This is coming. Somebody do that before I discover a fourth blanket and it has to become a square. You take care. I'll see you later. Bye.